time. And I always get pretty pumped after we're finished because the realization comes from you, from your faces, from your attitudes, right? That you can do more, right? You can push yourself harder than you thought you could do 4 weeks prior to what we just completed, all right? And that to me as a coach is just as rewarding as winning a game out on the field, okay? Just imagine if you had the mindset that you could do more, you could be stronger, you could be better in every walk of your life. Not just in the weight room, not just on the athletic field, but in everything you set your mind to. You have that ability, right? You got pushed, I apologize from the soccer point, you got pushed in the weight room the last 4 weeks to do more, to be better, right? And you all became stronger because of the commitment that you had to that activity, right? And we talk about this a lot as a team. You know, we talk about wanting to be a better person, wanting to be a better student, wanting to be a better friend. And again, I think having one voice is great, but having multiple voices kind of talk about the same thing is just a stronger image that we present, all right? So we're very fortunate today to have a personal friend of mine, John Taylor, who's going to be kind of talking about stuff that hopefully is not all foreign to you guys, right? But just addressing it in a different way. Hopefully you'll take something from this. Again, make sure you pay attention. Until asked, your phones need to be away on mute. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to see them. All right, until you guys are asked, all right? So without further ado, please guys welcome John Taylor.
All right, thank you. I want you to think about a question that I'm going to ask you here in a second. And some of you might have the answer. Most of you probably will not. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? What is it? I'm very rarely tonight going to talk anything about your athletics, anything about your team, anything about teamwork. I'm talking about you. And we're going to go for this next 45 minutes to hopefully help you find your purpose or find a way to get to it, because it's not easy. And I've got stories I'm going to tell and things like that, but what's your purpose? That's a question I want you to answer. If you've got one, answer it. Do you have a purpose? Do you know what your calling is? Do you know what you want to do? What is it? All right, that's powerful. Okay, that's powerful. And if that's what it is, then you're definitely on the right track. I can't even top that. Okay, I can't even top that. And for you to come out and say that tells me a lot about your belief, your conviction, and what you want to do. Now, your purpose, when you want to find your purpose, it's not easy. And at your age, you probably don't know what it is. I'm 55 years old and I found mine, but I'm 55 years old. Okay, and it's a journey. And your purpose is not what you find, it's something you do. Okay? So I'm going to tell you how I got to my journey of being a teacher and going out and speaking and things like that. When I was in college, when I was in high school, I just did things day by day. Day by day. There was no rhyme, reason, I just rolled. And as you look back, and you'll do the same thing, as you look back on your life and you think about the things that you did or didn't do, it gets you to where you're at. So, in high school, I just did the things that a normal high school kid does. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to a high university. My grade point average at the time, not very good. I had someone take me under my wing. Why are they taking me under the wing? I don't do anything, Just did enough to get by. And I'll go back to that here in a little bit later. But I'm in college. I graduate college. Just ready to graduate, go and get my master's. And my professor tells me, hey, you have to do volunteer hours. I'm like, I'm going to grad school. I know where I'm going to grad school. I'm done. She's like, we got to do these, you have to do these volunteer hours. And I'm like, all right. Now, I was a football player. Okay, so I was 6'4" at the time, probably about 240. And I had to go, she's like, you're working Special Olympics. I'm like, nope, that ain't happening. I'm not working Special Olympics. I love kids. I love being around kids, but that was not my trajectory. That's not where I was going to go. That's not what I'm doing. At least in my mind, that's not what I'm doing. She goes, no, you're going there. I said, I'm not going there. She goes, I'll fail you. I go, you can't do that. Click. Okay. So I show up. I'm there thinking I'm going to work the 50-yard dash or, take tickets or something. She's like, no, you got to stand right here. Okay. You're going to be a hugger. No, I'm not going to be a hugger. I'm not going to be a hugger. No. I still had that football mentality. You don't show emotion. You don't tell people how you feel. You don't, if there's something that you like, you don't tell people what it is because you might be worried about what people think. She goes, you're going to be a hugger. I'm like, nope. She goes, you got to stand right there. She was this little old lady, mean as all get out, but I loved her to death. I loved her to death because she was always on me and I never knew why. I stand there and there's a little girl at the end. She's about 9 years old and they're running the 50-meter dash. And I'm sweating bullets. I have no idea what's going to happen here. None whatsoever. So she comes running down and, her legs were bent. She comes running down and this little girl hugs me. And that's when I knew. She hugged me. I hugged her and something just came over me. And I started crying. I'm crying like, what is this? And my little old professor comes up. She hits me in the arm. She goes, you're welcome. You should have done this 4 years ago, and walked away. I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. Don't know what I'm teaching. Don't care what I'm teaching. I'm going to be a teacher. I want to be around kids. Changed my whole plan that day. I was supposed to go to Eastern Kentucky and be a GA for football. Done. I'm staying here. So I ended up staying there, getting my master's degree. Had an opportunity to get a job. Got the job. Had to stop doing my master's because I had to come to Columbus. That didn't sit too well because I didn't finish up my master's with my advisor. But she stayed on me. I ended up getting it. And then I found out, that's what I want to do. I want to teach. So you're going to have a moment. You're going to have one. You had yours already. You're going to have a moment where this is what I want to do. It might be in here. It might be tomorrow. It might be when you're 25, 30 years old. Okay? Your purpose finds you. You search for it, but you're searching for what you want to search for. Okay? Your purpose finds you. Every one of you has gifts. Every one of you have gifts to share. But you might not think that you have gifts to share. But you do. That's your purpose. Because it's going to find you. Whether you want it to or not, it's going to find you, and then you've got a choice. Are you going to follow your purpose, or are you just going to do what's expected of you by people? So it's passion and discipline brings about a purpose. And how do you find your purpose, or does it find you? Well, I answered that for you. What interests are you passionate about? And you can write these down on here if you want. That's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. It's just something that you've got that you can use and we can work with. So what's your passion? What are you passionate about? I'm passionate about kids, my family, and speaking. And I don't know why. I know why about my kids and my family, of course. I know how the teaching happened, but I don't know why I wanted to pursue that as I was teaching. Don't know. So you're on a journey right now, and the opportunities that you have in front of you right now, just take them all in. Take them all in. So we're going to talk about purpose, plan, and perform. And, you find your journey, you find your purpose. If I didn't find that purpose at that time, in that situation, I don't know what I would be doing. Probably something I shouldn't be. Okay? Because your purpose saves you as well. It guides you. It guides you to do the things that maybe you didn't think you could do or didn't want to do and realize you love to do and you want to do. Does that make sense? Okay, so everybody has a different purpose. Everybody. Some of you might have the same ones. Now, and I know I'm picking on you because you came out and said it, what are you going to do with that? I have it. Okay, that's great. Okay, now what do I do with it? So what are you going to do with it? Day to day, what do you see when you're done with school? What do you see when you're, what do you see in the big picture? And that's difficult sometimes. That's difficult. So your journey that you take brings you to your purpose. And you have to understand that the decisions that you make affect your path. It affects your path. It's not going to be easy. Oh, I want to do this. Okay, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a point from point A to point B. You're going to make it no problem. It's going to be easy. You all know if I said that it's going to be easy, you know I'm lying to you. Like, you know life's not easy. But when you find that purpose, what are you going to do with it? And how are you going to expand it? 15 years ago, if you would have told me I was going to be up here speaking and I wanted to go speak to people in colleges, I would have been like, there's no way, man. There's no way I'm doing that. But here I am. And it's because you find a purpose and then your purpose guides you and it attracts other people that want to do the same thing as you do. And when you get that, regardless of what it is, they just boost you up. And they basically kick you out of the nest and say, go fly. You're going to fall, but get up and keep going. So now you've got that. We don't go through life gazing, we go through doing. All right? You don't just go through life step by step and just go through day by day, because you don't get the next day. You don't get yesterday back. You don't get today back. So every day that you have to use it to its full advantage. All right, I teach in Columbus City schools, and there's some rough incidences and rough times for kids and families. All right, we just lost one to a shooting 4 weeks ago. You know, imagine being a teacher. Imagine being in something that you're so passionate about that when you click on the news and they say there's a shooting, you hold your breath because you got 500 kids at your school. It could probably be one of them. And it's not the first time that's happened. So what I'm trying to say is you have to take advantage of every moment you have, because it could be gone. It could be gone. Oh, I wish I would have. I wish I should have. I wish I could have. What is that? I wish I would have. I wish I could have. I wish I should have. What is that? It's an excuse. What else is it? Regret. It's regret. And when you have regret, you know, John Wayne, one of his last comments were when he was in his library, one of his last comments, he looked around, he couldn't really see anymore, and he goes, you know what all these books are? And they asked him what? He goes, a lifetime of regrets, because I didn't get to read them. And if you want to do something, do it. Do it. Who cares what anybody else thinks? It doesn't matter. It's your life. Who controls your life? You do. Who's the CEO of you? You. Who's the president of you? You. Who makes your decisions? You. Do your coaches make decisions? Yeah. You have to be at practice. I'm gonna make this real simple for you. You have to be at practice at 3:30. Okay. You have a choice. You don't have to go. Right? What's the outcome? All right? So you can make a choice. Everything's a choice. Everything is a choice. You're supposed to be at practice at 3 o'clock. I'm not going. What's going to happen? Now, you can make that choice, but you know that there's a consequence that goes with it, right? You know there's a bad outcome, right? You know you should go to practice. You know you go to practice. You do those things. Everything's going to be okay. But sometimes you think about your own life and you weigh your situations. I know I should do this, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Now, obviously there's going to be ramifications. There's going to be things that maybe you're going to have to risk to do that, or you're going to get caught doing something. And that's in every decision you make. Think about it. Does it serve you? That's how you get into your plan. Does it serve you? So whatever it is that you're looking to do the decisions that you make every day serve you, what you want to do, or do they serve other people who, when you do what you're going to do for them, they throw you away and cast you to the side? So when you make your decisions, what are they? And how do you make them? So who has a routine that they do every morning? All right, you do? What is it?
Turn off my alarm, make my bed, brush my teeth, wash my face, get dressed. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, go to Wednesday. Maybe Tuesday, Thursday, I can sleep in a little bit more, and then I go to breakfast.
Okay, and then what? Okay, so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when you get to go to breakfast, do you do the same routine as you do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday? You just roll out of bed, throw on a lid, and walk out the door all stinky and no teeth brush and go get breakfast.
No, I brush my teeth.
So you've got a routine that you handle, right? Okay. What about like a daily routine or a nightly routine? Like that helps you grow. That helps you as a person grow. Do you have that? Do you either read or reflect or write or do something every day because you want to do it? Not because you have to, but because you want to do it. Is there something that you do because you want to do it? And you do it again and again and again and again, and pretty soon it becomes a habit, and you don't even think about it, and you just do it. Okay, my wife, she doesn't need an alarm clock. She's up at 5:20 every morning, doesn't matter. She just pops up, and she's one of those happy people. She's one of those happy, wakes up and starts singing and, all of that, and she's like that. And me, I'm not. I'll wake up and I'm good, but for about 40 minutes, please don't talk to me. Leave me alone. I just want to get up. I want to walk my dogs. I want to grab my coffee. I got to get ready for school. Do those things. She'll be like, hey, make sure that you go to the grocery store. Are you going to pick this up? Are you taking the dogs? And I'll just shoot her the death stare. Like all you women have, you all got that stare. All right. So the guy's got one too, and it's like, yours is more. Mine's like, she goes, oh, okay. So now you know what she does? She just texts me. So when I get in the car, I'm like, okay, I'll read it when I get to school. So it's just stuff like that. There's certain things that you do and you don't do, and certain things that you want to do, but are they worth it? So what are your routines? Other than getting up, doing those things. Do you have any routines that are self-improvement routines or something that you like to do? What? She's like, I shouldn't have nodded my head. What?
I like lifting every day.
Okay, so you do like to lift every day. Okay. But do you do that even on days that you don't have to?
Except like 1 day a week.
Okay. But you like to do that. And then, so is that important to you? Is that your routine?
Like I
Okay.
Except
So
for 1 day. Except
the one day, okay, day of rest. All right, I got you.
Always a rest day.
Okay, so my question is, what if it's 9:45 at night and you didn't have a chance to do it yet and you're dead dog tired? What's going to happen? You're going to A, blow it off, or B, get something in, because that is how you hold yourself accountable. And only you would know. Nobody else would know. Nobody would know if you skipped your workout. Nobody would know if, I work out 6 days a week. Yeah, but I was tired. And I just said, the heck with it, I'm blowing it off. What would you do in that situation? And yes, I'm picking on you. Yeah. What would you do in that situation?
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably go work out. But
Okay, that's good.
personally, I go to bed at like early, so I would never let it.
Okay, so
I like to lift in the morning. So
Okay.
I'll never even get to that point.
okay. Who else has a routine? Everybody's like, I'm not talking now. I'm not talking now. So I start picking you out. All right. What's your routine? Do you have one? Do you have something, and even if it's not a routine, do you have something that you do every day? All right, you do that every day.
Yeah.
You ever blow it off?
Occasionally, yeah.
Why?
Because sometimes I just can't focus on it, and I can go do something else, and then maybe come back to it.
Okay. But in hindsight, you really try and do homework every day if you have it, or adjust it, or have to. Okay, so now there's a difference between want to and have to, right? What's something you want to do? What's something you like to do or something you want to do?
5 minutes at least every night right before bed to just
Okay. And you do that every day?
every single day.
Right.
Right before bed.
And even if like sometimes, and I do it every night. And sometimes
Oh yeah, I drift off. So
and I get back up, I'm like, okay, all right, refocus and get it. Because then it becomes, right, and it's a what? It's a routine, it's a habit, it's part of you. And if you don't do it, you feel like you're missing a piece of the puzzle. That's your purpose. You're building the foundation for greater things that you're going to do throughout your life. All right, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Being 35 is not that far from where you guys are at. I know you think it is, but you blink, you snap your fingers, and the next thing you are is you're 35. I blinked, snapped my fingers. I had 3 kids, and I was married 31 years. And it goes that fast. So what are you going to do with the time that you have? What are you going to do with the time you have? Now, I want you to really sit here for a minute, and I want you to reflect. And I want you to think about your shortcomings. Everybody has them. You've maybe worked on them, and you failed, and they're still really a thorn in your side or a pain in your butt. What are your shortcomings? Because everybody has them. And we're going to talk about one of them here. What's your shortcoming? She's like, man, I should have not looked at him.
What's the definition of shortcomings?
Something that, there's a couple different ways. Like something that you should be doing that you're not doing. Or something that you want to do and people think that you can do, you just don't do it. Or like a shortcoming is, yeah, I'll be there for you. Yeah, I promise I'll be there. Yeah, I'll go out with you tonight. And then every single time you say no, people are going to be like, yeah, no, she ain't going. You know what I mean? Or no, she ain't. She says she's coming, but she ain't coming. That's a shortcoming because you're saying one thing and you're doing another.
Yeah. I do that a lot. I say, I'll be like, yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, why? Why is that?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable, or like I just don't. I like being by myself.
Okay. So how do you solve that shortcoming? And you're going to be able to answer this on your own without any help from anybody else. How do you solve that shortcoming?
That I feel like a big group where I'm like, I don't know how.
Okay. 2 things. 1, don't say you're going to go.
I usually don't answer.
And that, by not answering, you're answering. Does that make sense? By not answering, you're answering. Okay. Shortcoming. What's the shortcoming you have? What's the shortcoming you have? She said being on time. So that's a shortcoming, being on time. How do you solve that? Okay, but how? How can you do that?
Like prepare, just know what time it is, know what I need to get, what I need to get done before, like plans.
So what is that called? Accountability. Okay? Planning and accountability. Can you hold yourself accountable for the decisions you make? Do you hold yourself accountable for the decisions you make? Because the decisions you make, I'm going back again, the decisions you make affect what? Affect I'm going to see if you guys were listening. Your outcome, but it affects your overall Thank you. There we go. Affects your overall purpose. So, what changes can you make in any short? Like maybe you don't like to study as much. You have to study more. How are you going to do that? It's the same thing with your purpose. You like something. I want to figure out how to do it. I want to figure out what it's like. Who do you ask? There's something you're interested in. Something that, man, this might be what I really want to do. Or, man, I really like this. I really like working with kids. What's your next step? What do you need to do? If you think you have a passion about something and a purpose, what's your next step? Find what? Man, it's a quiet group. Find what? Abby, what do you got to find? So you like doing something. You're in nursing? Okay. What do you have to do in order to be a nurse or find more out about nursing? Go to clinicals and hang around like people. Like people. So you got to search out like people. Okay? If you search out like people, you're going to find out real quick if you like what you do or you don't like that. And you know, your purpose might not take you in the direction you want to go because it is a journey. It's a journey. And it's not an easy journey. When you see this picture, I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to think about all the things we've talked about. Purpose, plan. Next thing we're going to get into is perform. We talked about shortcomings. We talked about finding your purpose. When you see this picture, now I'm going to go around to each table and I want somebody to answer. When you see this picture, what is the first thing that you see? And then when you really look at it, what do you see? So what's the first thing you see? When you look at it, like, boom, I put it up. What's the first thing that popped into your head? And now that you're looking at the picture and you're thinking about what we talked about, what do you see here now?
I mean, first I see like,
Mm-hmm.
but then I look at it more and I see kind of not really him like limiting himself and like figuring out a way to still like be able to kind of hold on to the ball still.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like,
Okay. What do we see from this side over here?
The first thing I noticed was it looks like a towel in his mouth.
Well, see, and I looked at it too, and I thought it was a towel, but I think it's a noodle. I think it's a pool noodle. Yeah, I think. I mean, I've looked at it, and I went up on it and looked. So either a towel or a pool, or
Yeah.
so. What do you think?
Wow, I was kind of concerned about his teeth.
Okay.
But then, like, when I think about it deeper, it's like he has to have a lot of strength to lift himself up and like do that before he slams.
Okay. Over here.
So we noticed that
Dedication. Okay. What about this table?
no arms. And first thing I thought of
Okay. What about over here?
Very impressive. And I would say that I could easily give it all. Clearly, he is very passionate about it.
Okay. Here. We're gonna go right here. We're gonna ask Coach.
First off, again, kind of obvious physical, but then looking deeper, just the straight determination.
Okay. What about over here?
I see a lot of just like anybody can say or like it's not possible, but like I don't see any of that. Like that just proves like if you really want to do something, he made a choice.
Okay.
I look at it as determination right away, and obviously defining others.
Yeah.
He restricts himself based on his limitations on the way.
And that's exactly, like everybody had a different perception and a different comment about that, but they're all right. Okay? So when you see that, there are no limits. There's no limits to what you can do or what you want to do. It's right there. There's no limits. The man has no arms. He's swimming. He's doing what he wants. He found a way. How many people you think told him, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, what are you doing, who are you trying to prove it to? You're embarrassing people, you're embarrassing the sport, you're embarrassing people who are disabled. A million different hate things that can come out now because of social media and things, which social media is the best thing that's happened and it's the worst thing that's happened to society. That's a whole nother talk. But it's one of the best things that can happen. But do you think that people bashed him? Absolutely they did. But this should be a message of no matter what happens to you or with you, you will get through it. You will get through it. No arms. He's like, I'm going to swim. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way. Yeah, that's probably not the first idea he ever had was, I'm just going to get this and go. Who knows what he tried? Who knows, like, when he tried to swim and he went to the bottom and he couldn't swim and he just wanted to give up. He got to that point where he was going to give up and quit. But he had his purpose. He had a purpose. Now, swimming in a swim meet might not be everybody's cup of tea. It was his. And does it really matter that somebody else's purpose is totally on the opposite end of the spectrum as yours? Does that matter? No, it's their purpose. It's their goal. It's their dream. So you let them have it. You don't ridicule someone else for their dream or their passion. If you had to sum this up in one word, what would it be? One word. And that's a little bit harder. Who can give me one word? We're going to go at that table. In the blue. One word. Impressive. Okay. Is there anything negative here? Huh? Yes. Yes. Looks like he's the only one in the pool. So, if he's the only one in the pool, he's probably practicing by himself with nobody else around. And he's doing the things that he needs to do to get to the goal that he wants, regardless of who's around him. Regardless of who's around him. So that was good. Not many people will see that and they're like, he's in the pool alone. Now, based on this picture, he's in alone. There might be people down somewhere, I don't know. This is just the one that we got. All right, so we've talked about that stuff. We take actions. You make decisions that determine your path. It's a choice. It's not something that someone makes you do. It's a choice that you make. So whatever your purpose is and whatever you think that you want to do, it's a decision that you make to pursue it. A true decision leads you to achievement because it involves commitment. And the biggest thing that stops people from doing what they want to do is the commitment, because commitment is hard. It's hard. Mom and Dad ain't getting up at 5:45 in the morning to go lift weights. You are. Your friends aren't getting up from going out on Friday night because you got to go somewhere on Saturday morning and they're all out Friday night and you got to get up at Saturday morning. You're getting up. They're staying in bed. But you know what they're doing? Oh, yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. She's out there starting. Yeah, she's doing, they brag about you, but they don't put in the work. They do not put in the work. They don't do what you do. Nobody does what you do as an individual. And you think about it, nobody wants to be there when you're doing the work, but everybody wants to be there when you're successful. You think about that. Everybody wants to be there when you're successful. Soccer, you guys won the league, right? Oh, I'll bet you everybody's like, yeah, that's my goal. Woo! People you don't even know. They want to be a part of it, right? They want to be a part of the success, but not put the work in. That's shortcuts. And you can't take them. They're going to get you. They might get you there, but they're not going to keep you there. You can take a shortcut, but it's not going to help you in the long run. Because the people that are committed, and you guys think about it, volleyball, you think about, I mean, you're here in the summer, you're here when nobody's here, you got to go do trips away, you come back, you got an 8 o'clock class. I mean, like, you sacrifice, you are committed. But I want you to think about everybody that started on the soccer team or the volleyball team. We got juniors in here going to be seniors? We got all young? Okay. Are there people that were on this team that are no longer on this team? I'm not talking about seniors, but freshmen, sophomores. The commitment was too much. The commitment was too much. And it's hard. And what you guys are doing is going to make you stronger because you're going to see what you need to do once you're out of here. And this is only going to help you. Are you going to find your purpose while you're here? I don't know. That's not for anybody here to decide but you. And you know when you know. You know when you know. That little girl coming up and hugging me and went like this, I'm like, done. I changed. That moment was a life-changing decision. I changed all of my plans, changed everything. Now, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have met my wife as she was hobbling down going to volleyball practice because she's on the volleyball team and had a sprained ankle, whip my car around and say, hey, you need to ride down, talk to her for 2 hours and then get married. That wouldn't have happened. So everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't be in Columbus. I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be back in Chicago and doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. Okay, but everything happens for a reason, good or bad. And it brings you through your journey and it helps you find your purpose. So what action can you take right now that's going to help you with a goal you have? Like, we'll talk, there's a difference between goal and purpose. Purpose is like lifetime. That's like, I'm in, this is what I'm doing, that's it. Everything else, this is it. You have goals, and everybody has goals, and you want to work towards those goals and have a commitment. What's something you can do right now that's going to help you improve your individual goal? I'm not talking anything about athletics. Your individual goal. What is something you can do right now? Because you all got goals that some of you're lacking. You kind of push them to the side. You kind of stuffed them in that box. You kind of just like, yeah, I want to, but now's not the time. What's something you can do? And I want you to think about that. What's something that you can do right now that's going to help you with that? Click that button. Because you click that button, you committed. You're in. That's it. You're in. Okay? And once you click that button and you apply, you're committed. There's no coming back. You don't make excuses. There's no reason to make an excuse. What limiting excuses, and you have those, they stop you from finding out your real purpose. When you make an excuse about something that has happened, you're just avoiding what you really need to do. If you think about it, you make an excuse about something. Anything. Man, the teacher don't like me. If you get a 95 on the test, you're getting an A minus. Okay? Like, whether they like you or not is irrelevant. If you perform and do what you need to do, the results are going to come, right? There might be a teacher that you absolutely do not like. I'm going to drop the class. I don't like the teacher. You're just avoiding the inevitable because you're going to have to take the class anyways, right? So why not push through? When things get bad, why not push through? So you have your limiting beliefs, or you have your excuses. What are decisions that are still only dreams today? I'm going to do it someday. What's something you're thinking about? Man, I want to do this, but I'll do it tomorrow. Or I really want to go and work I really want to see what it's like to work in a preschool. I'll do that next semester. I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow might not come. Take the chance. Take the chance. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Oh my gosh, I don't want to be around those little kids ever again. They drive me crazy. I'm out. Okay. You know what your purpose is not going to be. You're not teaching preschool, right? So if it's something you want to do, find out if it's really what you want. And if it is, that might be your purpose. And it might be something you totally don't want to do. Now, there's always been people in your life that have come in and then left and maybe come back again. There's people in your life that you always think about. You're like, man, I wonder how so-and-so is doing. I remember when they helped me when I was going through a rough time when I was in high school. Or they helped me with a rough time with my family. I wonder how they're doing. Okay? Don't make excuses. Here's what we're doing. Take your phones out. There's no excuses for this right now. Everybody has a phone. I know you all don't leave without your phones. Like, you might forget your cleats. You might forget your books. You might forget your keys, but you are not forgetting your phone. That is 100%. I want you to think about somebody you have not talked to in a while. In a while that maybe had your back at some point in time. Or somebody you used to really, really talk to and just, man, you just kind of parted ways. Not by your fault or their fault or anything like that, but you just kind of drifted. And that happens. That happens. Pull them up on your phone. You know you got their contact in there. Find that person that you haven't talked to, or that person that you've had a great relationship with and it fell apart. Or it just drifted, or it just stopped. Like, you hung out with them and all of a sudden, you haven't done it in a year and it stopped. Find that person right now. Set up a text. I want you to text that person right now. Don't care what you say. How you doing? What's up? You good? Checking in. Don't care what you say. And I want you to text that person right now. That's scary. You're outside your box right now. You're sitting on the end right now like, you're ready to push that apply button. You're ready to make that commitment. And when you send that text, boom, it's like jumping out of an airplane with the parachute. Guess what? Once you jump out of that plane with that parachute, you can't look back and go, damn, this was a bad idea. Like, you're in, right? You're in. You jump out of that plane with that parachute, you can't go back. Only way you're going is hope it opens and you go down. That's where you're at right now. Now, some of you right now actually did it, and you did it, and you're like, all right, I'm in, let's go. Some of you faked it and didn't do it because you're not ready to make that's uncomfortable. But there's your challenge. There is your challenge right there. You are uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. What's stopping you? Are you worried about what they're going to say? Is that should you let that affect you? By you just, man, how you doing? Somebody you haven't talked to in a while, I promise you some of you are going to get responses back like that. And now, the immediate response might be, because when I sent it to one of my high school friends that I haven't talked to who really, really helped me a lot. I sent it to him. I was like, man, I appreciate you. Just wanted you to know that I love you. My text back, what's wrong? That's the text I get back. I'm like, no, nothing's wrong. What's wrong? Nothing. It's just, everybody's like, I haven't talked to you in a while, man. What's wrong? Everybody always thinks the negative. So I want you to do that. If you get a response back, go ahead and answer it. Go ahead and answer it. If you get a response back, go ahead and answer it. For those of you that did do it, it's going to change you a little bit. Because then man, I really got to check on people. Just like I know people check on me. So, you got to try and do that. so you don't make any excuses. Perform outside your comfort zone. This is the same thing. Now I'm going to tell you, perform outside my comfort zone. I used to worry about what people thought, and I used to play that role. In high school, 3-sport athlete, all of that, all state, all that stuff, get a scholarship. Back then, you're the dumb jock. Well, I really wasn't dumb, but okay, I guess that's the role I have to play. I was convinced that that's what I was supposed to do and who I was because that's what everybody told me. So I played the role. I did just enough to get by because I played the role because, well, that's what everybody thought I was supposed to do, so I did it. Didn't help me. But then I had to understand, okay, you've got a scholarship sitting in front of you, and you got to get a 3.8 your entire senior year. Guess what? I couldn't be the dumb jock anymore. I was like, but I can't get there. I'm dumb. You're not dumb. You just listening to what other people tell you. You buy into what other people are telling you should be or what you should do. Not what you want to do or what you're capable of doing, but you worry about everybody else. So don't do that. Get outside your comfort zone. Get outside what you want to do. Okay? You find your passion. You find things that motivate you. I love to write. I would write poems. I would do those things that I never told anybody, man. There was no way I'm telling anybody I'm writing this stuff. No way. Why did I start doing it? Because I had a 7th grade teacher for English class who 2 times a quarter, you would get a green E. Back then we had E, G, S, and U. Those were your grades. E, green E, man, that paper went up on the wall. The whole thing, it was like bonus points, like you didn't give it out, the green E. And man, I wanted that so bad. Now, with Google and all that stuff, yeah, I would have got it. But, you had to proofread back then, and then you had to do a draft, and you had to hand it in, and then you had to make the corrections, and then you had to do it. Everything was just handwritten. And then you would write your story, and then he would slam it and slam it and slam it. I'm like, man, I want that green E. I want it. I kept working. Got frustrated. Never got it. But what it did is lit a fire inside me. And it just is like, I want to do this. I might suck at it, but I want to do this. So I just kept writing essays and just stuff like that. And I still do it to this day. Because of that. Do I know if it's any good or not? I don't know. I still like doing it. I keep it. One time one of my kids found it. They found my book, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, oh my gosh. But then I was like, all right, step back. Yeah, I wrote that. And it's hard because you step outside your box. And there's things that you don't want people to know that you like to do or that you're passionate about, that they might look at you and go, you write poems and stuff? Like, you? Yeah. But I don't care anymore. And that's the way you should be. Don't care about what you're passionate about because of what other people think about it. Don't stop being you. Be you. In anything you do, be you. Be you. So 3 decisions that'll shape your life right now. What's 3 decisions that you can make right now that's going to help you change a good situation and make it great? A bad situation is going to make it good. It could be communicate with somebody. It could be whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want it to be. If you're dealing with a problem, how are you going to fix it? If something's going really well, how are you going to make it better? How are you going to make it better? Because average is down here, excellent is here, elite is up here. Do you want to be the best and elite in what you do? Then you got to take the chances and do the things that the average people don't want to do. I mean, it comes down to that. You are in charge of what you do. And these are some questions that I don't think you're going to be able to answer right now. But if you will keep these or let one stay with you, like feelings and thoughts and actions. What are your feelings and thoughts and actions of the things that you're going to do? Of your decisions. How do you feel about that? What is the primary focus of your life? That's your purpose. What is it you want to do? I'm not talking about a job. What's your purpose? I want to impact. I want to make a difference. Whether that's one person in here who's like, man, I'm really taking something away, or somebody's in here saying, looking at the clock going, man, are we almost done? Because I want to get the heck out of here. And, you know, that's going to happen, okay? That's going to happen. But hopefully you're able to take something away from that. So what is it? How does that situation affect your present and future? The decisions that you want to make, how is that going to affect your present life now and your future? Remember, we talked about that earlier. And it all comes down to the decisions that you make and how you're going to make those decisions. Now, this is Beyond the Game. And Devin Jordan, who was one of my mentors, along with Roy Hall, they're here in Columbus, and I really lean on them. And this is one of the things that he wrote in his book that I, you know, as a speaker, you beg, borrow, steal, and you take stuff, and I tell him, hey, I'm using this. He's like, okay. Be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. Think only the best. Be just as enthusiastic about the successes of others as you are about your own. Now that one there is key. Forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievement of the future. You can't change what has happened. You can't control what will happen. And that decision and what happens in the future is based on what you do. Give the greater achievements of the future. Think about the achievements that you can have in the future. Not just the short-term one, but the big picture. Think of the big picture. Give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. So when people are criticizing you, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? When people are criticizing you, and every one of you has been criticized, whether it was like, why'd you go to Capitol? Why are you playing soccer? Why are you doing this? Why are you in this major? Why are you playing volleyball? Why would you want to do that? Like, you've all been criticized. Why are people criticizing you? Why do you think you get criticized? Because people are afraid to do what you're doing. People are afraid to do what you're doing. Be too large for worry, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Control what you can control. You can't control anything else but what you can control. And when you get that mindset, so much clarity comes. And when that clarity comes, so does your purpose. So does your purpose. Okay. If you can, please comment on the presentation. It helps me to get better. You can follow on social media. You can John Taylor Speaks. If you would be willing to do a 30-second testimony video, I would appreciate it. If you're not, that's fine. Those pens and the wristbands are there for you to keep. Take them. If you want them, go ahead and take them. If you want the handouts, go ahead and take them. Hopefully you will use them. Refer to them and they'll help you. If not, just make sure that you leave them there. All right. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions either now or later, you can get on social media. You can reach out to me. Also, if you can, there is those right there. If you wouldn't mind filling those out for me for about the next 5 minutes, there's the evaluations. And I've also got the little QR code. Everything that's up there, you can snap that QR code. You can do that. I appreciate it. If you ever need anything, just reach out. Okay, just reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Quiet group and a good group. And did anybody get a text back?
I did.
No.
Yes. See, I love it. You got a text back. Good. I hope you weren't texting your mom that you just talked to 20 minutes ago. Oh my gosh. Okay. I do. You want? Oh, yeah. That's one. Okay. I got that. Is there? Yep, I've got them back here. Hang on. Yep. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I put like 5. I thought I put like 5 at the table, but you guys came up on the empty table. You good? You need one? There you go. All right. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
There's a lot of JPEGs. So I took JPEGs and RAWs. So I'll send you all of the JPEGs that I took, uncropped. So if you find ones you like, you want on your site, I'll edit them.
Okay.
So just come in a file name.
Awesome.
However you want.
I'll love looking at that. That'll be awesome.
So you just text me your email, or you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I'll get you all that, and I'll get
There's
that.
so many times I just wanted to chime in,
I know.
the situation.
And that's why, like I was asked to do it with adults, but I was like, it would have to be the right setting.
It would be.
I mean, I just like they asked me to do it for my teachers at school, and I said absolutely not. I was like, no.
Not at your own school.
No.
For sure. There's too much familiarity with it. You just don't get the interaction you would need.
No, it's just right. Would I do it in another school district? Oh yeah, in a second.
Right.
I mean, it's like, and I'm like, I hope they tell me like, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't, because I just try and take all of that and try and make it better. Yeah. Like man, when I first started out, I would scream and yell and not use the video. Now I got this thing. And it makes it a heck of a lot. I still yell, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier. Let me go shut. I'm going to shut that. Oh, actually, hang on a second. But I thank you. All right. All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome.